All right, I just saw a movie called Astra. It was a good movie, and I love the concept and space travel themes. I did like Space Odyssey, the realistic element to travel or living in space. So that was interesting to me. Excuse the towel behind me. It's now it's dry, but this movie gets a 4.5. I looked on reviews. They were bored by it. I could see why to be bored by it. I basically have a speed up button, so a lot of it's dragged out. Like like the early Star Trek movies, like the first one, it was just very dragged out. So there are moments where you're just seeing someone floating in space very slowly, almost like they're trying to fill some time that they have. They have a plot and they just need to fill the time. So you get that sense at times. But if that doesn't bother you and maybe you like slowness, then you'll love it. I personally have a speed up button and I like the content. So on the computer here, so it didn't bother me at all. It probably wouldn't affect the rating either way because when I'm bored, I just look at my phone or have something else to keep me interested, like stretching. And out of 10, it would get an 8.5 because if I say 9, then the public would say, oh, this is a 9 movie. No, it's not. It's not fully a 9 movie. I would say 8.5. As a reminder, whoever comes across my channel, the ratings are based upon the ratings are not set to scale, meaning it's a new scale with the 5 and a new scale with the 10, and it's how our minds intuitively pick up ratings. So it doesn't have to mathematically fit. If you are a mathematical mind, maybe you'll feel it's inconsistent, but I don't think so. I think it's pretty reasonable with how most of our brains view the rating on a 5 scale or a 10 scale. Yeah, obviously the computer may pick up something different or maybe not. Maybe I'm very accurate here. Oh, so the major theme of the movie is that you're searching for life on other planets, but if you get so caught up with that as a mission, you're going to forget the life you have here, the bonds you create, the relationships you have, and the meaning you can find within it. Now, I personally like that. I also think that we're so self-absorbed as a planet and species that it's a good message, but you should also remember while you're taking in that message that we've been on this rock for many millennia, and it's time to look outwards. If it's not to discover life, it's to find means to colonize other planets. And in the process of searching for life, they colonized. It could also mean they colonized the moon first. It's not like a formal colonization, but they colonized it and then they increased their endeavors for life. So that theme of colonizing other planets I love it. It's entertaining, it's interesting, and it's fun. The idea that if there's a puncture in space, then the whole thing will get sucked out into space. That's an interesting theme, and like just to ponder that they must have really put in a lot of investment into fortifying or creating materials that work in outer space. And the fact that I was actually thinking about that during the movie shows that this movie is pretty realistic. You got a realistic tone of the movie. What was really sad was that the father, so spoiler alert, obviously everything's a spoil, but the father dies, or he's assumed dead, and they're not making a second movie, so he's not going to be coming. He's not going to. And that'll also take away from the realism that embodies a lot of this movie. So the father's dead, basically, and I was wondering what would have happened if Brad Pitt, which I love as an actor, was able to. My brother used to make fun of me because I accidentally said Brad Pitt was hot one time, and I didn't mean he was hot. I meant people assume that he's hot. So I said, but anyways, that's why. So like my whole childhood was Brad Pitt and trying to convince my brother I did not mean Brad Pitt was hot, lest I be considered gay. It's very funny. And all right, so so these two actors I really liked, which made me like the movie even more. but Brad Pitt has to let go of K. Well, not K, the actor who plays K in Men in Black, 1 and 2 and 3. And that was really sad. What if he took him back to Earth? If he took his father back to Earth, who's being hidden as a hero, when he really betrayed and is being hunted down, that would expose the system. So Brad Pitt comes back, and it doesn't seem like they're throwing him in jail or anything, because they're trying to cover up a lot of things, and I think all the men on his ship, on his rocket ship, died, but the people on the moon base know that he's a traitor. Unless the traitor information didn't reach back to the base on the moon. It was hard to catch. But it's interesting because there's so much politics that Brad Pitt's not considered a bad guy when he comes back. And it shows you that, like, all this nonsense, all this human nonsense we take to the moon and we take everywhere else. I don't know how that connects, but like one of the themes is to appreciate human life. But if anything, this movie also highlights the stupidity of the human experience, of the human dynamics, how we were so focused on image and security, and so the little bubbles on Earth can appreciate their little lives, that we behind the scenes we're blackmailing and we're threatening and we're hiding and covering up and sweeping under the rug all these other things because we want a perfect society, a perfect system. And it shows you the arrogance and the insecurity and egoic nature, the self-absorbed nature of the human species. So it's funny how the movie highlights the importance of being around your little bubbles, but it also simultaneously brings out the inherent and inevitable corruption that mankind gets involved in to support these bubbles. So it could be that I don't know. Is the movie trying to say get involved in your bubbles? Or is it maybe it's saying that don't look in outer space because you're just going to see more politics. We have a good system down here, enjoy it here. That could be the message, but there's a lot of conflicting themes, a lot of conflicting messages you can pull out as well. So that's why I think this movie is great. It's the direct, like, it's so vague and ambiguous on how you're supposed to learn from this movie. That, I mean, the message is clear, but it's vague in terms of what you can pull out. That I really liked it.